and welcome back to the Good City Show. We've got a really interesting guest. We've got Deepthi Boppaiah of the Go Sports Foundation.
Hi, Aditya.
Welcome to your first ever Instagram Live.
Thank you. You've taken me away to Instagram Live, so yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about time everybody hits reset. I'd like to introduce everybody to you. That we go way back to, I think, 2012 or 2013 when I started Southfire Sport. I still have a nice Go Sports Foundation 3M sticker on my bike. I think Shreer was part of the team there. Yes,
Shishir,
we did it. Yeah, Shishir, exactly. So Deepthi, give us a little intro into who is Deepthi Boppaiah.
Wow. Okay. First of all, thank you for having me here. And I'm actually Kodwa from Coorg, but born and brought up in Bangalore. My parents are been here for the longest time. They were from Mysore and Coorg and Madikeri, but then in Bangalore. So a large part of my sister Shruti and my upbringing, we've been in Bangalore, and we always had sports in our life. Thanks to my parents, sports and music. If I can put it into buckets as our primary areas of extracurricular activities. Thanks to them, I feel life has gone a full circle, and now I have a job in sport. It's all because of those start days of my parents taking us everywhere and making us play sport.
So, growing up, what age were you when you started playing sport?
I think we started,
super young.
Yeah. It was much earlier, from first standard or second standard. We played everything in school. Obviously, our school, Baldwin's, we had everything available to us. We had a really nice big ground, and we ran, we had basketball, and that's how we got into it. It had everything except hockey, unfortunately. Though it is
and that's such a Kodwa sport.
And that's
but
only sport
the
I didn't play.
Hockey stadium was like right next to Baldwin.
Yes. But we didn't take up that sport. But my mom was a hockey player herself, so. Pretty much the genes of sport in some sense.
Nice. And then how's the journey been? You've done a variety of roles before you got into your current role. How's that been going?
It's been quite an interesting journey, I would say. Growing up, it was always trying to do many things. That's very much part of my personality, that I like to do a lot of things. But I like to do it being fully involved, not just dabble with a few things. But growing up in school was all about sport, a little bit of education. Just about managed to clear my course, and I didn't want to fail a year, but apart from that, it was just about playing and more sport in that sense. Then I went on to do my MBA in Symbiosis Pune, and I had my campus placements in HSBC, and that was an amazing stint at that point of time. I did 3 different roles in HSBC, and I was a wealth manager, and I moved into training. I had a great opportunity to go to Dubai and train the NRI team for continuous 2 weeks, and I came back into the wealth space. But I would keep having these conversations. I want to, I used to love the sports about do things that you love and you'll never have to work another day. All those things really inspired me, and I totally believe in it.
And that actually got you to...
That actually got me to this, and I think, my parents have been extremely supportive in that journey at that point of time. They figure out what you want to do, and my parents have been really supportive. But obviously, it was a very difficult decision to make, from banking to sport. And sport, not in mainstream sport, but really into, and which was really not established fully. It was just the 3rd year when I joined those sports. I just remember the amount of conversations around sport that were there, how we can never win an Olympic medal. As Indians, we don't have it in us. And all those things, kind of really bothered me. It's great today to sit back and feel like, wow, you've been part of almost 2 Olympic cycles. I'm saying almost because right now Olympics would have been starting if the COVID world it's moved to next year. But yeah, I think I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot. I've met some incredible people. I've had the opportunity to work directly with so many athletes, be part of their journeys. And it's very difficult to be an athlete here.
Yeah, it's quite intense
when you're pursuing elite sport. So it's been interesting. We've grown, we've developed, we've tried to build things.
Okay, so I'm going to hit pause there and kind of rewind a bit. Can you give our viewers a little insight into what is the Go Sports Foundation all about?
Yeah. So we are an organization which dreams of creating Olympians and Paralympians, and we really try and find talent between the age group of 13 onwards across individual Olympic and Paralympic sport. And we try and become their entourage, and we try and ensure that us to the best experts, the training, the best equipment, the best coaches, everything that they need to get to the best of their potential. And their potential could be an Asian Games, could be a Commonwealth, could be World Championship, ultimately the Olympics and Paralympics. So we kind of structure everything around that. And our larger social impact really is we want to create role models for India. And we do believe the athletes are great role models. So investing in them, getting them to give what has been one of our key focus areas, especially in a time like this COVID. We recently started this new initiative called Play for India, because the bottom pyramid in sport, which is your trainers, your staff, your people who take care of your equipment, your caddy,
the entire ecosystem.
The ecosystem is really impacted just like other sectors. So we started this initiative, and it's been fascinating. In the last 1 month, we've supported more than 450 beneficiaries directly of grassroots sports, across hockey, badminton, table tennis, now swimming. And the interesting part is all former athletes have come forward to do their bit and to raise funds.
That's fantastic.
It's been incredible. It's been really, really heartening to see how champions can give back. And a large part of their sport has happened because of these people somewhere in the background. So it's nice to really give back to them. And it's nice to see the people of India coming forward, giving, supporting this cause. Because every time people feel, how do I support this journey? What can I do? So over here, we're giving, a platform for people to volunteer their time, to donate, or to connect us to be a champion of a cause yourself. So whatever you want, we kind of created it in that manner. Baby steps, but it's nice to see the impact already on that.
That's amazing. I mean, that's also really inspiring to see the entire ecosystem come together. So currently, how many athletes have gone through the Go Sport Foundation over the years?
So I think the last 8 years has been very different. Every single has been very different. First 3-5 years was reaching out to friends and family and trying to create fundraisers and do all kinds of innovative things to raise money. And I think from 2013, the introduction of corporate social responsibility, CSR, primarily because India is the first country in the world to mandate CSR. And under that, sport is categories. So it is pretty interesting because
which is a very interesting thought process, because most companies, especially larger ones, it's great to see how, sports is pushed through. And when you look at sports, whether it's indoor or outdoor, the variety of sports that exist is fascinating. And it's great to see so many more athletes coming into that place.
Yeah. Currently, we actually support about 120 athletes, and it's across able-bodied athletes as well as athletes with disabilities. So it's pretty interesting because I had the good fortune of being at Rio. And
how is that? How is it like being at the Olympics? And you said 2 Olympics, right?
No, so Paralympics, which is 3 weeks after the main Olympics. We had a contingent of 19 people from India, and 11 of them were supported by the foundation. And 3 of them came back with medals, 4 from India, and we won 2 gold medals. So I got to hear our national anthem in Brazil,
with the works,
twice. So that was absolutely one of the best moments, for me personally. It was really surreal.
Yeah, especially like from when you started, when people were saying, India can't get onto a podium finish, forget gold, just bronze or silver, and then to actually seeing a gold medal. I mean, that must have been tremendous. I mean, I'm at a loss of words here, but
in the able-bodied aspect, we still have got only 1 Olympic gold medal in the individual category, thanks to Abhinav Bindra. But I think that's changing. In Rio, you had 2 of our girls, Sakshi and Sindhu, go and win medals. So I think it's changing. There's a lot of talent, and I think that's the primary reason what excites me, because we're such a large nation. We definitely have a few medalists somewhere in some remote part of our country. So just finding them and getting them and nurturing them.
Bring it together.
Bring it together. So that's what we do. That's what we attempt to do. We try and create the pathway for an athlete.
That's sweet. And so how do people reach out? Let's say if you've got educational institutes that would like to reach out, or individuals that know of athletes or know of funds that could come together.
Yeah, so if you know of athletes, we have a scholarship methodology where athletes apply for our scholarship. There's an
Right.
application that's put out every year. And then
Okay.
if you know a talented athlete or a coach who wants to apply, then they can, apply to us. And we have a
Okay.
90-day process to bring on an athlete.
That sounds like a visa process.
Yeah, it does. Because we're not looking at working with an athlete for a 3 month, 6 months time frame. We pretty much want
It's
to
a
work with them across
lifetime for them.
2 Olympics. So it's 8 years. So
Right.
we have to take that time to do that. So for someone like a Kidambi Srikanth, who went on to become world number 1 2 years ago,
Right.
we picked him up when he was 258 in the world, and
Okay. Wow.
the entire ecosystem working with him and to get to world number 1, we've all learned so much through his journey. But
Right.
what we're sure about is it can happen and we can be world beaters. So that's the exciting part.
And that's an interesting thing that brings me on to my next question. Teamwork. Putting this entire, I mean, it sounds like a mini army that came together and became a gigantic army. And then along with the rest of the country coming together. How's that process like?
So I think we actually have been very fortunate to have some great people who worked with us. You remember Shishir and,
Yeah.
there were Sudhir and Sudha and they were all the people who really were there from the start. And, when I came in 2012, we slowly started building the team and different people at different points came in and, really did a lot. Whether they were interns or project staff or full-time employees, we have a whole different models of people who work with us. So I think each and every one has played a very, very integral role. And even our current team right now, we're about 20 of us.
Oh, wow.
And
it feels like a lot bigger on the outside. It sounds like a bigger.
No, we're 20.
Okay.
We're 20 of us, but if you take in at an organization level, obviously we work with coaches, with athletes, with experts, with different organizations. Our head of science is John Gloucester. He was with the Indian cricket team for many years, and he's our head of sports science. So if we add them, we're definitely a 150 organization, but we're not on the roll. Core team is really 20 people.
You also act in a film called Hockey in My Blood.
Yeah, I didn't act. It was a documentary. Okay. It was actually, the director is Sandhya Kumar. She is actually a national award winner herself for one of her other films. She wanted to do something in terms of community and sport. The best example was Hockey in Coorg, the Kodava Hockey Festival running for over 20 years now, where different families come together. And,
that's like a legendary.
More than 250 teams participate. Each team, and it's a full team, and it's not like 5-6 people in each community, and it is already on the Limca Book of World Records, and now we're pushing to try and get it to the Guinness Book, because in the field hockey space there's no other community hockey tournament that happens in this manner. So we really felt that,
and anywhere in the world.
Nowhere in the world, yeah. So it is pretty interesting because men play, women play. If you're married, you can choose to play in your husband's side or your your parents' side. It's very unique in terms of how it's structured, and so summertime, sorry, May, June is when it typically happens. But the last time, it rained and Coorg was badly hit, unfortunately. That there's a 2-year gap experience, because we would leave here Saturday morning at like 3 a.m., get to the grounds, shoot for 2 days, come back Sunday, and then get back to work again. But I learned so much in that. No, and we were just 4 people in the crew, and we were running around all over the ground. So keeping in mind how Sandhya envisioned the entire project and how it came up, it was really special. So I'm glad it's part of Coorg's legacy project in some sense. And I had a small role.
So you've also been doing a couple of other things, also for a digital media company called Meraki.
Yeah, I've actually co-founded Meraki, and I was part of it in the initial setting up of the company. But my partners, actually, Ajit, Ravindran, Amrita, and Toshan, fabulous job. It's really about providing brand solutions, to brands who want to invest in sport, and it's more on a consulting basis. And they manage everything from the digital campaigns to online events to social media, everything. And we've grown that quite well, and it's a great team. 25 people there on that team as well. In the last 4 years, sport was really seeing that upside and movement, and I think my partners have done an incredible job of bringing it to where it is today.
Awesome.
Yes. That was actually really special for us. Last year, we won the National Khel Pro Award from the President of India, Go Sports Foundation, for our work of identifying and nurturing talent. So that was very, very, very special for us. Just being in the Rashtrapati Bhavan, getting awarded with
steps, the big palace.
Yeah, grand steps. Just the whole atmosphere there in terms of, when they read out what you do, when they call you upon to take the thing, there's a lot of protocol that you need to follow. The other athletes, they're getting their Arjuna awards, all the other awards that are there, national awards. So it was really nice to, be recognized as an organization by the President of India. It's the highest honor that you could probably get for your work. So, from a passion project in some sense, it became a national priority project of the country, So,
fantastic.
That was really special for us.
Wow. I mean, I've got goosebumps listening to you now. Deepti, also, now I'm going to fast forward a bit. And so Go Sports Foundation is known as India's leading non-government organization into sport. How have you all managed to retain that tag?
Our managing trustee is Nandan Kamath. He's a sports lawyer himself. And, he brings in large part of the vision aspect. And, as a team, we are able to execute it. And we have Mr. Ulupalli, who's another trustee, and Abhishek, who's our other trustee. And they just bring a very different kind of experience to the table. We have John Gloucester, who's our head of sports science. We actually have somebody called Unmish Parthasarathy, who helps us with strategy. And, he's based in Singapore, but he's been helping us for the last 4 years. We have someone like a Girish Manima, Stillwater Consulting, who's really been my personal leadership coach and as well as helped us devise a large number of our programs. We also have our advisors, without whom, we could not have come to this level, which is Rahul Dravid, Abhinav Bindra, till very recently, decided to pursue his own foundation work, but for many years with us on our advisory board, and also Pulela Gopichand. And they're pretty much stalwarts and legends in the sporting industry, and they guide us. They help a lot. So we as a team learn so much from them and from their journey.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's been quite a journey on the show.
I don't know if you started with that.
Thanks for that. So the Good City basically consists of wellness, sport, lifestyle, health, fitness, and we basically want anybody that tunes into our show to reach your personal goals via our original Power Reads, via podcast, and via our shows. For many years, we had a brand called Cycling or Southfire Sport, where we used to take people night cycling around the city. And at a certain point, we said, let's merge both the brands into the Good City. So we still have the sporting side. So if you've got a story of someone you'd like to share with us, if you'd like to come and host a show, we're always up for it. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube as The Good City Show. So find out, let us know what you like.
So I think Good City Anglo is important then, considering we both are here.
The beauty about behind the Good City brand is it can be any city, anywhere in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I think working out has changed now. Everything's moved online, and we're doing that even for a lot of our athletes. Everyone's on online sessions.
On that note, I've got a great question. A lot of people now that have been forced to sit indoors have been talking about, your entire habit has been changed. You're no longer commuting back and forth. You don't have a coffee shop or a restaurant to go hang out at. You're fortunate enough, you're with your parents or your family, husband, wife, kids. But if you're by yourself, it's quite hard. So a lot of people have been talking about mental health and depression. So how have you all been able to keep the team together, keep your athletes engaged?
So actually, we have access to a lot of the sports psychologists, and it's a very, very difficult time for athletes and for the team also. I mean, for all of us, everyone. And mental health is a very, very component on everything that we do. So we had sessions with sports psychologists to take us through and counselors to take us through what is the ideal way of managing this pandemic and time that, either you're alone or with family or wherever you are stuck. Some of our athletes were stuck outside the country. So just the first month was just trying to get them back to India, for the anxiety levels and just the worry of will I be safe more than anything else. So we had some very interesting tips, and one of it was really about having a routine. If you woke up at 6 a.m. before and did something, wake up, continue to 8 a.m., continue to wake up at 7 a.m., whatever it is, and go back to sleep at the same time. I think what tends to happen is because we don't need to get into work or don't need to be anywhere else, all your cycles went for a toss, and it took some time to really stabilize and come back to some sort of a routine. So definitely mental health and working on our own mental health is very important. So the lockdown was great for me because I was with my parents, and my dad and I started doing meditation. And, we do it twice a day actually, just 15 minutes. But it's been great. I always used to think I can't meditate. I don't know how to do this. I don't even know if I'm doing it right. But the fact that I sit for minutes, close my eyes, also I get to spend time with my dad. I think that's amazing. Household work, cooking, standing, eating. All of that also is, a lot of work.
Have you actually managed to cook a lot more during the lockdown?
I actually have now. In the last 1 month, I've come back to my place. So yes, I cook a lot.
Lots of YouTube?
Lots of YouTube. And then I'm thinking, why didn't we ever do it before? Why didn't we cook before? And I would feel so guilty if I didn't go for a workout, or didn't go to my Pilates, or didn't do something. But today I'm very happy doing yoga online, just watching it on YouTube and doing a nice kettlebell workout or whatever it is. At least you have access to it. So I think this COVID world has really shown what are the other things that you can do and spend time with family. So both at organization level and personal level, I think mental health is very, very important, critical, and we talk about it. We also started something called a Happy Tuesday for the team.
Okay.
So every day we get different people to come and speak to us, to this specifically. And last Tuesday, actually 2 weeks back, we had two of my friends actually from B School, Sauraj and Sami. They run this company called Venture Pulse, and they actually take people to the Everest Base Camp, and they also have submitted Everest themselves.
You went to the base camp too?
Yeah, I did that in 2013. That was difficult challenges of my life, and it was not physical, it was completely mental, So we get different people to come and speak to us. So they did a session for us 2 weeks ago, and every Tuesday we get together as a team. While we just wanted to reconnect, not talk about work, but learn something, become aware of something new or something. So different people take turns, and we invite different people to come and do that.
Okay. Would you like to add in on anything that I missed out on?
Help actually. This fantastic youngster called Chetan, who runs a called Cool. One of the aspects is he's trying to bridge the whole gap in blood donations in India. So many people die because of blood. And the COVID period has reared us and impacted us very badly because people are not going out to donate blood. So a lot of people, like thalassemia patients and people who just need regular supply of getting it because blood banks are drying out of blood. So soon, Chetan and his team, if anyone, I personally feel if we can all go and donate blood, we can save a lot of lives. He's doing a fabulous job, and people who are aware and who want to support different causes, I think that's a very.
You said he was 18 years old.
I met him when he was 16 years old, and he started NGO because he lost his favorite teacher in school because they could not find blood. And in the last 3 years, to be just impacted by something like that and to create an organization like this.
Back
and today, he's a key stakeholder with Facebook. On now there's an option on Facebook that says you can become a blood donor. So he pretty much worked with them as one of the stakeholders and made that happen. And today, a database of 1 lakh donors across the country and completely free. So if anyone wants, he's the man to reach out to. He's on Instagram. Khun Class is on Instagram. It's a verified.
And would you like to answer questions that people have posted?
Yeah, sure.
I see a lot of questions in post. Oh wow. Sharat Raju had a question. Okay, you spoke about it regarding President's Award. Being a former international player, she definitely look forward to being a part of your team.
Oh wow. Please reach out to us. foundation@gosports.in is our email ID for you to reach out to us.
Shilpa Chengi says you did a fabulous job.
It's a friend.
Kavya Krishnamurthy, Chef Kavya, says, hi, what are your views when it comes to other genders? Interesting question.
Very interesting. I think we actually have a very long way to go in that. We're still struggling enough women to place as the second gender itself. Or the other genders are multiple genders and got those genders in place. So we might be able to specifically chart out something separately at our level. I know for a fact that the International Olympic Association, the IOC, they're doing a lot on gender, and they're really trying to see how to broaden the space and the sport for everyone, for more inclusion.
Your favorite individual sport? Dhruv Mulik says, what's your favorite time individual sport?
I work with 120 athletes who I love and adore.
So there's no favorite that way.
Very difficult to pick and choose one. But I think I'm really fascinated by the Indian women's cricket team and the Indian women's hockey. We play a very small role in the hockey journey. Rani Rampa, who's the current captain of the Indian hockey team, was one of our first beneficiaries when we started Go Sports in 2012. Struggled to play hockey and sport, but just those small amounts of support at the right time. He currently captains the Indian women's hockey team. So just seeing seeing
God.
that
Wow.
has been fascinating. So yeah, that's my team.
Any words of advice to anybody who's pursuing a career in sport out there?
I think there's a lot to do in sport. People always box it off with the players and taking care of them. But I think right from sports marketing to athlete development, the brand of sport, and there's so much to do in talent management. There's just so much that you can actually do in sport. So whichever area that you're already in, that I'm sure you can come into sport, and if you're passionate about sport, you'll make things happen.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Aditya. Enjoy.
All right. Bye.
Folks,
thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for being on the Good City Show. We've got 2 amazing guests on Sunday. Do join us at 4 p.m. and at 6 p.m. Thank you. Bye.